Yosef Tarkovsky, Nissan Tarkovsky,
Zachary.
Jacob Moskowitz, Morris Moskowitz, Samuel Gloria, Hinda H. Gloria, Wolf Gloria, Yahiel Regina Gottlieb.
Sarah K. Meisels, Baruch, Mintia Stoljar, Shekel Stoljar, Chaim S. Katskevich, Israel Moskovich, Siegfried Reinhardt, Chaim Friedman, Yosel Pasternak, Hannah Pasternak.
By way of like the airport.
Sonia Pearl Schwartzman, Kaya Schwartzman, Yaakov Schwartzman, Bertha Schwartzman, the Beeler family, Dora H. Bach, Isaac Cannavalo, and 11 family members, Greta E. Matthias.
Welcome to everyone who is here on this beautiful day, and thank you for coming. The people who work to make this service possible are acknowledged at the bottom of your program. If you don't have a program, raise your hand. We have more over here. Okay, they are here on the table. And thank you for distributing. Yeah. I thank each one, and the last one especially at the end, Ron Friedman, who has just completed, he tells me, his 11th year. I thought it was 10 years. Time flies. At Emek Shalom, most dedicated landscaper and caregiver of our grounds and garden. A member of the planning committee is our next speaker. Tatiana Perelman, a native of Vinnytsia, Ukraine, came to America and Richmond in May 1990 with her parents, her husband, and her children, Boris and Irena. Tanya will introduce our theme this year.
This year, we're celebrating 65th anniversary of liberation of Belarus. Why Belarus? There are two characteristics of the German invasion that set Belarus apart. First, it was the first Soviet republic to be invaded in full force of German oppression. And the second, unlike France, Belarus refused to give up their freedom. This great resistance put Hitler's plan behind on reaching Moscow and triggered tremendous human casualties and devastation in Belarus as a result of fascist wrath. Not a single country involved in hostilities was faced with the magnitude of atrocities and destruction like Belarus. Of the 270 cities, over 200 were ruined. Almost 90% of buildings in Minsk, the capital of Belarus, were destroyed. More than 9,000 villages were devastated. In pure prices, material damage was about half of the national wealth. The war left deep mark in the history and mind of Belarusian people. Every third resident in Belarus perished in war. Belarus suffered from fascist enslavement for 3 years. Among the chief methods that fascists used to implement their new order was genocide and a mass and bloody murder. Hitler's soldiers committed unheard of atrocities here, regardless of whom they were killing, women, men, elderly, or children. Concentration camps, prisons, or ghettos functioned practically in every region of Belarus. There were 260 death camps, 70 ghettos in the Republic. In Trostinets concentration camp alone, about 206,000 people were killed. one of the gravest tragedies of the kind, hit the village of Khatyn in Minsk region in March of 1943. Angered by Belarusian resistance, fascists drove all residents into the barn and set fire. Those who attempt to flee from the barn were shot down. 149 residents, including 75 children, were burned alive in this incident alone. Looting and fire all around the village followed. Today, there is a memorial giving tribute to all those who perished. In 1987, my family visited newly rebuilt Minsk with our 7-year-old son at the time. Every few moments, a bell rang and a name was sounded. It was so powerful that he was overcome with a feeling. Whether he understood the full magnitude of the atrocities was not clear, but the boy who normally reacts with millions of questions was silent. Probably internalizing what he saw, he could utter the word the whole day. In Minsk, fascists set up one of the largest ghettos in Europe. As it operated, more than 1,000 people became its prisoners, and overwhelming majority of them died of hunger, diseases, and torture. The Holocaust killed over 800,000 Jews in Belarus. Only a little more than 3% of Belarusian Jews survived. Little more than 3%. 12 of our new Russian immigrants put the name of their loved ones perished in the war in the monument behind us. Irrespective of barbaric repressive measures against the Belarusian, fascists could not crush the national will of liberation. On the territory of Belarus appeared a mass resistance movement. From the first day of aggressive invasion into the country, many underground partisan organizations sprang up. Soviet partisans did not offer protection to Jews in the Holocaust. The strong Jews were usually welcomed by partisans. Sometimes if Jew had a weapon with them, but women, children, and the elderly were mostly unwelcomed. Eventually, however, separate Jewish groups, both guerrilla units and mixed family groups of refugees, like Bielski partisans, were subordinated by the communist partisan leadership and considered as Soviet assets. Under the Bielski group protection, 1,213 survived the war, making it one of the many remarkable rescue missions in the Holocaust. The group spent more than 2 years living in the forests and were initially organized by Bielski brothers, which was the basis of the movie Defiance. Belarus was completely liberated in the summer of 1944.
Chaim the Tromovitz, Feivel the Tromovitz, Hedwig